So we are going to be focusing today on when to get help. So this is an SOS for you and your friends' mental health. So we're going to be talking a lot about some signs and symptoms, how to approach someone for mental health help for either yourself or a friend. We're going to briefly touch on some suicide prevention and then go into self-care. So right now we're going to go into our Kahoot. As mentioned. So I'm going to start sharing that screen. And there we go. Let's get some music going. Not gonna lie, I'm really excited for this Kahoot. So I'm really glad you guys get to log in. And
we're all set here.
Awesome. Thank you. Ready? Okay, so we don't talk about Marabella, Lewis, Bruno, Anna. Who don't we talk about?
Bruno. We don't talk about.
That's right. We don't talk about Bruno. Good. Glad you're awake. Eli Yippee is going. All right. True or false? Anyone can develop a mental illness.
True.
All right. Good. Everyone's got that right. We're good. All right. So Eli Yippee still on top, right? 1 in blank U.S. children between the ages of 6 and 17 has a treatable mental health disorder. 8, 3, 6, 2.
1 in 8? 8? I'm guessing 8. I don't know. I'm doing 8 because I forgot to do 8. Seriously, it's 3. I did 3. It's 3. Oh wow!
All right. So the answer is 1 in 6.
I don't know what you mean by you can't see in yellow. Are you colorblind?
No, I can't.
All right. Eli Yippee still up.
I need to
True or
use the-
false again? Stomach pain is a sign and symptom of a mental illness.
Yes. True. I agree. I full on agree on that.
All right. That is true. And we'll go over that as we go. Eli Yippee, you're doing really great. I like it. Zoe's following Autumn. Nice. Again, true or false? This kitten is cute. Ooh, we got some people having to think about this. Oh, one person said the kitten's not cute. Sadness. All right. Good, at least Eli Yippee knows that the cat's cute. True or false? Self-injury is a mental illness. All right, that is false. And again, we'll talk about that as we go. Oh no, Eli, Zoe's taken over. All right. Do you have a trusted adult that you can talk to? All right, it looks like we should have everybody. Maybe, apparently not, because it's still thinking over here. All right. Good to see that a lot of us do. But we'll talk about the role of a trusted adult in a little bit. Zoe, nice. All right. This is a multi-select, so you can select as many as you want. I'm an adult in my school that I can talk to. Just waiting on a few responses. Okay. So again, a decent amount of you said yes, but there's still a lot of you who said no. So we'll talk about that. Eli takes it over. This is an open-ended question, so you can answer whatever you think. If animals could talk, which would be the rudest? All right, I got 20 answers. We're gonna just look at a couple of them. Cats. Ooh, cats take over. Squirrels, moles, humans, monkeys, and unicorns. I'm jamming out to all of those. All right. It's again a multi-select. One or more of my friends smoke cigarettes, pot, or vape. Okay. I can see that. All right. Next one. It's again a multi-select. I feel comfortable asking someone if they're thinking about killing themselves. Okay. All right. True or false? Suicide is preventable. The answer is true. I like to see that a lot of you got that. Nice. Okay. Again, a multi-select. Given these 4 choices, my favorite animal is. Good choices, guys. Meerkat is number 1. I like it. And this is an open-ended question. So to relax, tell me about your coping skills. What do you like to do? And if you don't like to relax, just let me know that too. All right. Some of the stuff we got: clean, sleep, play soccer, read, cry. I like that too. Hang out with Eli or listen to music. I don't know. I like these. All right. All right. All right. For our podium, we have 3rd place, Strawberry. 2nd place, Eli Yippee. And the 1st place goes to Weebs. All right. Thank you all for playing along. I like it. So we're going to go back. Here we go. Oh, the music is still going too. First of all, let's address the issue in the room. This is Lucy. Her nicknames are Loose Loose, Magoose Goose, Lucy, Lucy Lou, whatever. She's a year old. She's a Maine Coon and part trouble. And she likes to play with bottle caps. Yes, that is my cat, and I am very proud of her. Second, half of lifetime cases of mental illnesses begin by the age of 14. That's why I'm talking to you right now, because we know it's important for you guys to have this information as we move forward, so that if something is going on with you or a friend, we can talk to others, right? So when we're talking about mental illness, we're going to be talking about something that affects your mood, your thought, your behaviors, pretty much every aspect of your life. But don't worry. This is not something that just happens over a day, right? We're going to be looking for a lot of those signs and symptoms that we list over a period of 2 weeks or more, right? So when we talk about what's going on in your brain and, how does a person develop a mental illness, we're looking at something like inherited traits. So whether your mom, your dad, aunt, uncle, brother, sister has a mental illness, you are more likely to develop a mental illness. That does not mean you are guaranteed to have a mental illness. That just means you're more likely. Biological factors. So if you were in the womb and your mother was exposed to certain toxins or viruses, that can affect how your brain develops. Brain chemistry. So too much or too little of a chemical. The big chemicals we know are serotonin and dopamine, but that's not all the chemicals in your brain. But we know too much or too little can be something that causes a mental illness, as well as life experiences. And life experiences can vary. So we'll talk about trauma down the line as well. So typically, here's where I would take a dance break, but it looks like we're running a little short on time, so I'm just gonna woo, woo. Sorry, y'all. I like it. All right. Okay, we got a little bit of a. All right. Sorry. Signs and symptoms. When we're talking about signs and symptoms of a mental illness, this is some of the things that we're looking for, right? Thoughts being Pessimism, difficulty making decisions, concentrating, remembering, rigid thinking, meaning that this is the only way that's right or this is the only way that's wrong. There's no scale of what could be right and what could be wrong, right? Racing thoughts, lack of insight, thoughts of death and suicide. Some emotions, we're talking about depressed mood, being sad, being angry, having these mood swings, lack of emotion or emotional response, low self-esteem, helplessness and hopelessness. So for the body, your body can have a lot of responses. And when I mentioned in there about stomach aches, this is where you can see that. A lot of times people don't have the vocabulary to talk about what's going on in their brain, right? So you might see that stuff kind of coming out in physical ways, such as having stomach aches, headaches, maybe your heart's racing a little bit, maybe you're short of breath, right? Sometimes you get back pain or stomach pain. Those are all different signs and symptoms that we could be looking for. Again, pattern adjustment. So too much or too little sleep or too much or too little eating. Appearance changes in hygiene, weight loss or weight gain, hormonal, so changes within your body when it comes to hormones, and trauma. Trauma is something that's very individual, right? So what's traumatic to me might not be traumatic to you. So right now we are kind of in the middle of a traumatic period where everybody in here has been exposed to life with COVID and how that's been a very traumatic experience. Your school lives were disrupted, your home lives were disrupted, right? Every part of your life was disrupted, which causes trauma. That does not mean because of this you are guaranteed to develop a mental illness. But again, it's something that we kind of want to keep in the back of our minds. When we've been through something that's really tough and hard to navigate, sometimes that can lead to a mental illness, right? So let's say you're noticing these signs and symptoms in yourself or a friend. What do I want you to do, right? Your job is not to fix things, right? Your job is to keep yourself safe or your friends safe and know how to get that help, right? So when you see these things, we want you to assume you're the only person who's ever going to recognize these signs and symptoms, and to reach out to either that person or to someone else that you might trust to have that conversation, right? What we want to be doing is listening to them and truly listening to them. Put down the phone, don't share this stuff on social media, and really take that time to understand what your friend's going through. Keep it casual and relaxed. Again, it's not your job to fix their problems, right? Don't judge or tease or criticize, and you want to be, available as best as you can. That does not mean you're on call 24/7. That just means sometimes you want to be able to listen, and tell your friend, hey, you can talk to me after school or in between classes or something like that. Encourage them to talk to a trusted adult. A trusted adult is someone that you feel like you can go to and talk about the things that are going on in your life, right? I know a lot of times, and I saw a lot of people saying that they don't have someone within their school that they can trust or as a trusted adult, but everybody in that school is there for you. Everybody likes working with youth, whether it seems like it or not. Everybody likes working with youth and are there to help you through this experience, right? So, whoever you might feel like trusting that day, maybe it's your history teacher, maybe it's even someone in the cafeteria, whatever kind of adult you kind of feel connected with. Maybe it's a coach at school, outside of school, maybe it is a coach, maybe it's, a dance instructor, maybe your neighbor, someone that you feel comfortable with, right? And then know when and where to get that urgent support. Most schools have a counselor on hand that you could go to. Sometimes there's guidance counselors, social workers, right? all of those people are urgent supports. Your teachers can get people to urgent supports, as well as there's hotlines that you guys could access. So when we're talking about suicide, here's some of these things that I want you guys to be paying attention for, right? Oh, wait, I feel a stretch break coming on. Stretch, everybody. It's time to stretch. Oh, Miss Holland's class looks like they need to stretch, but they're not. They look minorly distracted. LCE's half awake too. Oh no. Oh, we got rock stars going on at LCE. All right. So, the reason why I would have had you do dance breaks and we would have done stretch breaks is because these are really good coping skills. And we'll talk about coping skills at the end. So when we're talking about suicide, these are some of those warning signs, right? Wanting to die, feeling trapped in unbearable pain, feeling like a burden, talking about killing themselves, talking about no reason to live, right? Looking for ways to die, use of alcohol or drugs, saying goodbye to loved ones, giving away possessions, right? Mood swings. So these are some things that are abnormal for your friend or yourself, and that feeling of hopelessness. Maybe you're irritable. Maybe you see a period of sudden happiness in your friend. Those are all kind of things that I want you guys to pay attention to, right? We have are you thinking about hurting yourself? A lot of people think that that's a really good question to ask someone who is thinking about suicide. However, there's a lot of definitions to what hurting yourself can look like, right? So instead, if you feel like you have to talk to somebody about suicide, what I'd like you to ask is, and to be direct, are you thinking about suicide? Are you thinking about killing yourselves? Right, or yourself, right? And from there, what if they say yes? Right? I know this is an intense topic, but this is something that's very real. Taking care of friends can be hard. Taking care of yourself can be hard, right? Sometimes we will hear that yes. And it's important to know what to do, right? So first we want to take a deep breath, right? Thoughts of suicide aren't uncommon and they don't have to be acted upon, right? Let them tell you what's going on or why they feel that way. So again, listen, right? Tell them that you care. Then focus on these next steps, right? What did that look like? Keeping that person safe for now, right? So how to keep a person safe for now? Don't put yourself in harm's way. If you feel like the situation is harmful for you, it's okay to leave that situation, but it's not okay for you to leave that situation alone. What I mean by that is you can leave, but you need to be getting a trusted adult or someone who is, capable of handling emergencies to help navigate that problem with your friend. Getting that person to the safe place. That might be the guidance counselor. That might be asking a family or a friend member to take someone to the hospital. Maybe that is, bringing them to somewhere that's a little more open and where you could get that help. So, talk to that trusted person in your life. It's really important to identify who those trusted people are that you have. It's good to have that social support. You can send someone else to get help, or you can call 911. All of those are very valid ways of getting help and keeping that person and yourself safe for now. So when I talk about resources available to you, what I want you to know is there's people out there that you can trust. You can call or text a hotline. You can go to a hospital or call mobile crisis intervention team, or 911, whatever is safest for you guys. And there's really important, and I feel like I'm rushing through this, and that's because we took a little while on that Kahoot. But don't worry because this is being recorded. So I will ask them if they can send this out, as well as I will be sending handouts out shortly. Don't forget you can take as much in. Feel free to take notes. But here's some important things for self-care, right? What self-care is taking an active and proactive role in one's overall health and wellness. This is something that we want to be doing every day. Sometimes you want to do big things, sometimes you want to do little things. But what might be some of those components of wellness, right? For mindfulness 54321, you guys might know this is an actual really good exercise. So it would be getting comfortable wherever you are, right? Taking a couple deep breaths, then identifying what are 5 things that you can see around you. So for me right now, I'm in a training room. So I can see the board, I can see the wall, I can see a table, I can see a chair, and I can see a computer mouse, right? So what are those 5 things that you can see? What are 4 things that you can touch around you? Now, if you're doing this right now with me, please don't smack your neighbor. That is not appropriate, right? So what are 4 things you can touch around you? Maybe it's the chair, maybe it's the desk in front of you, maybe your clothes, or some piece of technology in front of you. Excuse me. What are 3 things you can hear around you? So what you can't hear right now is we have a train going behind us. I can hear my coworker typing on the computer, and I can hear myself talk. I do that really well, talk. What are 2 things you can smell around you, right? Well, it's 11 o'clock, which means my coworker is cooking her bagel or toasting her bagel. So she has an everything bagel. I can smell that cooking. And in here, I can smell some cleaning products, right? And then what is one thing that you can taste? Right now, my spit, right? So what are those 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 things that you can do? It helps reset your brain, and it's a really important thing that you can do. So some 5 core components, I'm sure you've heard all these before, but sleep. Your brain is not fully formed until you are at least 25. And so sleep is really, really important for you. So sleeping is good, at least 8 hours a day. Put the phone away, stop scrolling on TikTok, the usual, right? Exercise, whatever that looks like for you, at least an hour a day, right? So, whatever you might have to do. Nutrition, eat healthier, make healthier choices. That's all I'm asking you to do, right? Sometimes we might want to have an extra glass of water or maybe have a piece of fruit. Relaxation. So take some time to do some relaxation. Maybe that's reading, journaling, listening to music, whatever that looks like for you guys. Relaxation looks different for everyone. That's why I asked you about your coping skills, right? And connection's important. So reaching out to friends, hanging out with people, playing on the soccer team, whatever that might look like for you and how you connect to others is really important. So sometimes you might want to check in with yourself. It's important to understand what's going on. Have I been letting myself feel my feelings? What am I feeling right now? What's one way I can, learn from a mistake that I might have made? Am I sad about something? How can I navigate this situation, right? The most important part about this is do what positively works for you. Because what works for me might not work for you, right? My best friend runs marathons. Definitely not my style. I prefer to do yoga, right? So whatever part of this self-care works for you, do it. So what if none of this is working, right? There's therapy. There's medication. And you can reach out, right? All of these things are there for you. So I'm going to leave these up here for right now. These are the crisis lines that you can reach out. Again, I will be putting these on that sheet that I hand out. And I know I was really fast and it's 11:44 and I think I have till 11:45. Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask? You can also ask them to submit them to me and I'll be more than happy to answer them out there. Does anyone have any questions? I rocked this. Nice. Thanks, McKay, for joining me. Thanks, LCE. Have a great one. Enjoy the rest of the conference.